Greetings and welcome, my friends. This is the Fifth Wave, a funny new deck featuring plenty of men that tap for mana, as well as some big cards to give us a huge advantage on board. While this is the rough first draft, it has performed well enough that we're going with it for this video. It can only get better from here. Let's get in there. We're playing the full set of Llanowar Elves, so you can smell what we're cooking. This is our first turn play that sets us up for accelerated plays on our following turns. Even when we don't need the mana anymore, it's still a 1/1 body that help with combat. Badgermole Cub is an excellent card that provides us with extra mana from our men and can animate one of our lands when it enters play. While coming down on the second turn is great, in this deck we'd like to see him later if possible. He is usually a lightning rod for removal, so keeping him in hand to play later is often best if we want to keep the cub in play. Intrepid Paleontologist is another one of our men that generates mana, but that's not all. We can pay 2 mana and we can exile a card from any grave. While this works incredibly well with dinosaurs, we don't have any. The real reason for the PAL is to fight against opponents who are trying to take advantage of their grave. Reanimation strategies can be disrupted or stopped altogether. Raucous Audience is a new card from Avatar. It is another one of our men that taps for mana. In this case, if one of our men has power 4 or greater, the audience will tap for 2 green instead of just 1. With a cub in play and one of our men at 4 power or more, this will tap for 3 green mana. We want our manas, the more the better. Earthbender Ascension is a 3 mana enchantment that earthbends one of our lands. Then we get to fetch out a basic land from our deck and it will enter play tapped. This gives us immediate ramp along with an animated land that taps for 2 mana if we have a cub in play. In addition, once the Ascension has 4 counters on it, anytime we get a land in play, one of our men gets performance-enhancing candy, and they'll get trample for the turn. It's a great way to boost our men as well as add a critical ability to help us get through for damages. Damages, bro. Damages. Mossborn Hydra is a very popular figure in landfall decks, and we have it here to take advantage of its growth. While we're not built to play out land after land, and we don't have lands that fetch lands, so we're relying on the power of our very next card to get the Hydra to a very life-threatening size. Genesis Wave is one of our powerful weapons. The more mana we can use to power it out, the bigger our board advantage will be. All our cards minus the wave itself is a permanent. So when we fire it off, we'll hit more than we miss. What matters is being able to pay as much mana as possible. Even lands count when we fire it off, so that Hydra will get a massive boost if we hit on a number of lands. The ever-present Ouroboroid is here as well. It comes in to pump our team, and with most of our cards being men, we should have numbers over the opponent. A single tapeworm is tough to battle against, but in multiples, they can break the will of the opponent. The green virtue is here to help boost our mana. While we're not set up to take advantage of the growth, we will be fixing that as the deck continues to evolve. Once in play, the virtue will triple the mana from our forests, giving us the power to fire off gigantic waves to crush the opponent. Craterhoof Behemoth is another powerful weapon we intend to level against the opponent and their men. While it might only be a 5/5, its enters play ability pumps the rest of our men. As part of a wave, we can find a ton of our cards, and the Behemoth pump can get our little men to lethality. As a bonus, when it enters play, it also provides trample to be sure we can land damages. For lands, we've gone with 20 Forest. When you want your manas and you don't have time for lands that enter play tapped. 4 Basingse, the special land that will let us earthbend our lands, or we can tap it for mana. Playing the deck is rather simple, with our early turns being used to get our mana men in play. The goal is to develop our mana to get to the point where we can fire off a Genesis Wave with an X of at least 8 or more. Most of our cards are permanents, so a wave will get us a huge advantage on board, so the bigger we can make it, the better. The tapeworm, as well as the Behemoth pump our team. Getting one of those in play can lead to huge beatings. Getting one of each in play, particularly off of a wave, will be back-breaking. Against decks loaded with board wipes and removals, the payload of Ba Sing Se can help us get in hits with animated lands. That's the deck, boys. Let's go play some games.
Do you want to play a game?
This is Urza. He likes his long white hair and loves to polish his boob armor. We're kicking things off with a shuffler special. The beauty of having mana men is that shuffler specials are not a problem. 3 of our cards are mana men, so we're not at all concerned about our lands. Keep your pants on. They play out a pollinator. They too have mana men. The pollinator is popular with some roots players. We draw a Smelf, but this turn we're going with an audience. We don't have any 4-power men, but that could change if we get the tapeworm down. They double down on Pollinator. They really believe in that guy. They follow up with a Mai. Maybe it's supposed to be good, but against us, most of our cards are men, so we're taking only a minimal amount of damage. We draw a 3rd land, and that's enough to let us play out the tapeworm. As long as it remains on board, our men will get blessed with pump and will outsize all their men easily. They play out a tapeworm of their own. They outnumber us, but we can change that considering all our cards are either men or generate men. We'll play out the pal, then we can follow up with the audience. When the tapeworm pump hits, and it hits so good, we'll be able to get in for hits. Before we let them go, we'll drop in our Smelf. I'm sure they can smell what we're cooking. They throw down the little, angry baby Beloth. Now we can't counter their men. They follow up with a Braco. He puts the Bracos on if they start going too fast. I kind of feel we should pull the hand Braco. They send it, leaving back only the one who pulls the Braco. I guess they thought we'd block up and lose all our men. Tragically for them, all we plan on doing is blocking one of their guys with our Smelf. We're going to send him home so he can polish his boob armor. GG's. Extra pump cheese. This is Rose and Crutch. Someone already broke a leg. No, wait. It's Rose and Cruz. The shuffler is hilarious. That's 3 top-end cards to start this game with. Mull. Then we get a 3-lander with a much better start. Keep. We'll ship the Behemoth. The wave is here to get us Behemoths when we fire it off. They play out a Fungus. That's another player that hates permanents, but this time we've got very few targets for their fun guy. That thing is nearly useless, bro. Nice one. We'll go with the first of our cubs. We'll animate our forest. Usually Bossing Say is better used to earthbend other lands. They drop in a cub of their own. The matchmaker believes we should get to experience the joy of a mirror match. Getting all these lands isn't a problem. We can start turning them into men. A second cub will unlock a lot of mana from our animated lands. They play out a Smelf, but we all know what we are all cooking. You can't trick anyone here, bro. They could send it, we'll just eat the damages. We're not trading away any of our mana to block a 2-point hit. They ship the turn. They too are afraid to lose some of their mana. We draw an Ascension, and the more mana we get, the longer I want to wait to fire off the wave. Let's animate our forest, then we'll play out the Ascension. We're loading our board with heaps of mana. They burn their fun guy to get a card and play out an extra land. We did give them an Ascension to take out, but they didn't go for it. We draw another land, and you're probably wondering how much mana is enough? Am I right? We're already at 14 mana, and that's an 11-point wave. Don't worry, soon, my friends, very soon. For now, we'll keep building up. I think they're getting nervous. They're outnumbered, outpowered, and outgunned. We draw a Smelf. We could easily keep drawing more and more mana. A 14-point wave sounds good to me. Behold, the power of cheese. All of these are permanents. We'll take all of them. Wait, where you going, bro? That's GG's, extra wave cheese. Here's what we were about to get. Plenty of lands, a behemoth, and we already had 7 men on board. This was going to be a kick to the head. This is Sir Time Lord. Remember that time we made you put your pants on? We're about to do it again. We get a 3-lander with yet another very top-heavy start. That shuffler loves our top end. Mull. Then we get a 3-lander with a better start. This will be fine. Thanks, shuffler. Keep. We'll send one of the Hydras on down. They play out a Storm Chaser's talent. And when it comes off the back of an Izzet land, you know they're going to try to teach us something. But I don't learn my lessons very well, so they might have a problem. We draw a cub, but let's go with the pal first. Let's not have our cub get shot in the face this early. They're quick to use their burn. The pal really had to go. It could eat the cards in their grave and make them stumble on those accumulated wisdoms. Luckily, we brought more than just the one pal. This turn, we will go with the cub. I would have preferred to animate a forest, since we'll want to use the Bossing Say to earthbend other lands and not tap it for mana, but we do want to try to get in hits when we can. They drop in their Gran. It's difficult to put my fate in the hands of someone so old. We draw a Smelf, and that will be our play. I'm sure they think they know what we're cooking, but this is not the usual cub deck. Wait a second. We did that all backward. We want to bend the forest. There we go. That's how you do it when you're not intoxicated. For some weird reason, they bounce our cub. That gives us another bend when we replay it. Or do they have a counter? No, that can't be it. They also bounce our Smelf. Probably should have bounced the 2/2 land, to be honest. They tap out fully for an artist's talent. They've got so much talent but don't seem high in the brains department. They send it and cycle away Gran's panties. No, wait, that's a tax counter. Some would say those are one and the same. We'll replay the cub and bend our forest. Let's follow up with the Ascension, as that will fetch out a land, and we'll be able to bend another land. The remaining mana we can use to play out the Smelf. They tap out to level up their Storm Chaser's talent, probably getting back their removal. Am I right, bro? kind of feels like your pants are down with the way this board has worked out. We draw another Hydra and we'll play out Hydra Team 6. Then we'll follow up with the second Ascension for some of that special land ramp. We want to get in for damages. I really don't think they'd be willing to trade their grand for a land. Let's get in there. They fire off their removal to hit our team for a single point. While this will hit some of our men, the lands will come back and boost Hydra Team 6. Oopsie poopsie, maybe should not have done that. 8/8 Hydras are pretty nice. They follow up with a bounce to one of the Hydra team. Hail Hydra. Well, okay. We still have one left. The grand finale to this fireworks show is a second Storm Chaser's talent. They are able to take out the second Hydra. That's amazing, but they've burnt their hand down to nothing. We draw a second cub, and it's go time! Sir, Time Lord, this is all going to come down to a slugfest, and I think we've got the numbers to get the job done. Let's smash. They're running on fumes and top decks alone. Another talent will boost their otters, but I don't think they can afford to swing in. They send it. Amazing. No, wait, they back out their grand. It's best that fragile booty stay home. Am I right, bro? Even if they block the biggest cub, we've got more than enough. This team is lethal. That's GG's extra cub cheese. This is Taki Tataki, Doom Taki, Doom Tatataki. We know, bro, we know. Once again, the shuffler wants us to start the game with 3 of our top-end cards. That's a handicap we can't afford. Mull. Then we get a 3-lander with a nice curve out. This is excellent. Keep. We'll ship the Hydra. The rest of the team is more important. They play out an Infestation Sage. Infest away, bro. We'll play out the audience. If they have a removal, it's better to offer that up instead of the cub. They play out a Sheltered by Ghosts. Looks like our mana guy is going under. That card is so good. We might have to concede right now. We draw another land, we'll be able to start turning them into men pretty soon. Let's not animate the Ba Sing Se. We want to keep using it to animate other lands. They play out an innocence, it's life gain and card draw all in one. Nice setup, all they need now is a Sephiroth. Luckily for us, we drew another land. Once we get all our lands, we'll be able to win. This turn is time for the tapeworm to come on down. Maybe it can change the tide of battle. They play out a miner. While it isn't a threat, it will draw them a card. They fire off an intimidation tactics, but all we got are lands. That's all we've drawn. They pass on sending in attacks. We've managed to slow their roll. We draw a wave. We don't have the mana we need to make it good yet, but if we keep turning our lands into men, we'll get there. Let's get some pump and we can send in the tapeworm. We would go with the cub as well, but let's hold him back in case they have a split up. They play out an Elspeth. That's a big token generator that might make it difficult to get through. No, wait. They're using Elspeth to take out our tapeworm. We draw a Smelf and we'll play it out. Animating another land this turn will give us 12 mana on our next turn. That's a 9-point wave. It is tempting. We'll have to see what we draw. They have only 2 blockers. We can take Elspeth out and prevent the token barrage from ever taking place. They do us a favor and block up with their Sage. Thanks, bro. No, wait. They cancel that block. Instead, they double block one of our lands. That's even better. We'll get our guy back, and they lose a pair of men. That worked out better than I was expecting. That's a bat coming down, and they'll be able to snag the wave right out of our hand. While they got us this time, we've still got a huge advantage on board, and they have not been able to stop us from cranking out lands to hit them with. They take out one of our Ba Sing Se, but that's not going to turn the tide. We'll animate the last one, and if they try to take it out, it'll just come back. They try to station, but that just taps down blockers. Nice, bro, very nice. That's GG's, extra cheese, and that, my friends, is another satisfied customer.